other week one games really intrigue you?
I'm
Yeah, I
excited
think should be
about the
good.
one I'm going to. I'm going to the Whitney Mart game, and as I did last year, I'll be doing photo and video. And I've been told by Rod a lot I better get a shot of the Mart run through sign, because when it comes to our community shots and our different stuff like that, the Mart run through sign is a staple.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I'm
They're one of the
excited to
few
see
schools that still
they
does
still do a
a
run through
paper
sign.
run through sign. Yeah.
And not to be left out of like the whole thing, they do the run through sign at the beginning of the game, and then they've got a tunnel for halftime. So they're going to do things to the nth degree
Best
in
of both
March.
worlds.
And then kind of on the same subject that we talked about, in question one, the Lorena Austin Regents game, the Connolly Academy game, the Gatesville Taylor game, all of those will be interesting to see how those teams come out of the blocks and who's kind of turning the wheels for them.
DJ.
Oh man, I mean, like Chad said, that Whitney Mart game should be really good. I actually just talked to both those coaches earlier today, and they're excited to get to challenge themselves, from week one and really establish, what they want to be. Obviously, Whitney's a little bit bigger, higher classification, more players.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Mart is Mart, like we always say.
Mm-hmm.
And Demontrell Medlock is a heck of a quarterback. So like it's hard. I had a hard time picking this game, and the only reason I picked Whitney was because Chad picked Mart. So I hope Mart doesn't hold it against me that
Hey, you don't have to go out there,
I
I
don't
mean,
have to go out there this week. This week.
and we said it before and we'll say it many times again. Mart doesn't even like you hinting that maybe they're going to have a competitive game.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. They want you to pick them to win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Another game I'm excited about and I wish I could go to, even though it doesn't, I don't feel like it's really gonna have any bearing on the course of the season, but it's that the Universidad de Nuevo León versus Temple. If I knew that the Mexican team was gonna come play, I totally would have
Pick that game.
picked that game. But yeah, it's exciting to see the sport kind of grow past the borders, right? And I mean, football is not as big as football, soccer, in Mexico, but it's a sport that's kind of like gained popularity, and that school in particular has a lot of history. I mean, they're a program that is coming off a title, and the way that it works over there, because high school sports don't work the same in Mexico as they do here. They're almost kind of non-existent. Like you have your athletic academies that you go to if you're going to play soccer and try to be a professional. But you don't really have like school teams a lot. So the way that this program works is like you have the high school players, like the 17, 18 year olds, and then you have like a sort of college age team that's like maybe in their 20s, like 2021, and then it's like 22, 23 is like the major team, which has been doing really well. So I feel like that should be a good game just to get Temple tested and to get these Mexican players kind of like accustomed to the style of play that is the norm in Texas. And so I don't know, that's really exciting, and if I could be there I would, but
Yeah, I had mentioned to you when we were texting at one point that it's actually not the first time that Temple has played one of these Mexico teams. Um, so I think they have a little bit of a history there, a little bit of a connection. Um, but you're right. I mean, I think there is a passion for American football in Mexico. A lot of cowboy fans, they call them the Los Vaqueros, I guess.
yeah.
Uh, when completely different country, but when I was in Spain, as you guys know, over the summer, there for a mission trip, we one day did took the kids through American football. We did
Yeah.
an obstacle course, and they freaking loved it. And I mean,
You
it's a
know,
fun game, obviously.
the time that I've spent in Scotland and in Europe, a little bit, I've noticed that there is a taste for American football out there. I think that they just, it's hard to develop the infrastructure for American football.
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
it takes a lot of infrastructure compared to other games. I mean, our college teams load up an 18-wheeler and send it ahead of the team to each game. That's how much infrastructure you need, for a college football team anyway.
Yeah, no doubt. One game, you guys know I was going to mention this game.
I have it in my notes. Brice will say,
Here it is. Oglesby-Abbott. I
"That's
mean,
the
come
one."
on. We're talking about number one versus number two. Oglesby is number one in Class 1A Division 2.
Yep.
Abbott is number two in Class 1A Division 1.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked to both coaches. They're excited about this one. Jeb Dixon thinks they're going to have a whole heck of a lot of people there in Oglesby. But a great test for both teams right off the bat, to challenge themselves. Um, Jeb was talking about, he could have gone out to Jayton or wherever they have these like 6-man challenges and stuff, and he was like, why do that when I could just stay home and play Abbott or play Jonesboro or somebody like that, play a really, really good team.
Mm-hmm.
So should be fun. Should be a lot of fun.
I don't. You mentioned the Texas football rankings and the overall rankings at sixmanfootball.com. Abbott's 2, Oglesby 6.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
That would be taking both divisions and putting them together.
Yeah. The Uber rankings,
The
as they
Uber
call
rankings.
it.
Okay.
That's different from ranking your Uber driver after you take a ride home from the bar.
I knew you were going to say something like that. You beat me to the punch.